What's up, it's Marco back on today's soccer channel, and I just got done watching the USA beat Mexico 1-0 to win the Gold Cup, and man, what a great performance by this team. Honestly, not even a great performance, just an amazing result. We weren't even the better team, but man, coming away with a win against a very strong Mexico team. Yes, missing Ochoa, yes, missing Guzan, a couple guys at the Olympics, but man, they just play with so much more heart, and an MLS-centric team came away with the Gold Cup victory. USA's really starting to look good in the CONCACAF, dominating the Nations League, winning against Mexico. The team's just getting better and better. And even with this pretty weak team, what's just the heart of it? Guys like Acosta, who I don't feel like is that great a player. He was playing his heart out. He had Miles Robinson putting up a great performance. Matt Turner, man. I'm just going to start off talking about the players, since winning this tournament wasn't even our priority. We didn't care about winning this. We said, you know what? Pulisic, having a good preseason in Chelsea. That's more important than this. We already won ours. Who cares if Mexico takes this one? But we won it anyway. That's a great result. So let's start off positive with the players who I felt were really good, should be in the national team, and improve their stock. Matt Turner, just amazing tournament. Might have put himself as the number one now, especially with Zach Steffen as a backup. Ethan Horvath still has to win his spot. And great performance, some amazing saves, one of the best shot stoppers in the world. Maybe, I'm not going to say best in CONCACAF because Keylor Navas, but great performance by him. And feet still a little bit of concern with playing out of the back, especially in that first minute, but man, great performance and really good player. Matthew Hoppe, I feel like he's proved he's elite. Man, going into this tournament, I was like, you see his talent, but you weren't too sure how good he was because he was in a weak Schalke team. You don't know, but great work by him. He was looking really good all tournament. He was probably our only really creative attacking player throughout the entire tournament. Probably tried to do a bit too much, but I think nobody else was creative. He had to do a bit too much, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with him taking a really tough shot when he's got somebody wide open. You like to see that in a player, and honestly, in a tournament where we didn't care about the result, I love to see his performance, and he was just so great. He showed athleticism. He showed really good composure on the ball. Man, he's a great player. He honestly might be putting himself in the forward conversation. He showed versatility. Great job by him. And then Miles Robinson. Great performance by him. Athleticism is off the charts and amazing, just technically skilled out defending. Great 1v1 defender. And honestly, he might be just cream of the crop. Feet, like Matt Turner, still a bit of concern playing it out of the back. When we had the back three of Sand, Zimmerman, and him, he was clearly the weak link, but man, he was so good defensively that just having him as the option there, that's an amazing thing to see. And great player by him, and yeah, really good to see him play like that. And out of Syracuse going to Atlanta, he's improved so much. Next, the players who I really feel like should be in the national team, but didn't have the greatest tournament, but Gianluca Busio was very good. Especially when he came on, he was clearly the most creative midfielder we had the entire tournament with his little bit of time. And the defensive abilities that we were concerned about, he was pretty good defensively. Especially when you compare him with Acosta, when you compare him with Lletget, he was very, very good defensively. And showing a lot of energy, and he's somebody who I can trust as the backup six if and when Tyler Adams gets hurt again. And I really like this performance by Busio, and I'm really excited to see him in Italy if that move goes through. And then Daryl Dike, even though he got hurt, he sucked this tournament outside of that one, the 6-goal game. But he was playing through an injury that entire time. And yeah, not the greatest performance, but that heart that I was talking about with this team is the culture that you set. When you have a guy who's clearly injured, clearly not 100%, and he's going out there and trying his best, you love to see that. And we know Daryl Dike is good. We saw that in Barnsley. We've seen that in Orlando. And just him playing like that for the national team, I love to see that. And honestly, Gregg Barhalter, you got to save a guy from himself, because you know he's going to go out there no matter what. Next are guys who, not really I don't really like them in the national team, but they have a role that they do very well. Kellen Acosta, amazing defensive performance, one of the best players of this tournament. Great defensive midfielder. He was all over the pitch. Honestly, it was Conte-like performance by him. But similar to Conte, not the best on the ball. And unlike Conte, he's a liability on the ball. Didn't show too much this tournament, but when he's in a team with Weston McKennie and Tyler Adams, his lack of technical ability is so clear that he can't start games. But he should be in the national team. He should be in the 23 because that ability to just come onto the pitch and seal off a game, that's crucial. And his leadership that he showed this tournament was actually very good as well. I didn't know he had that in him. Great job by Kellen Acosta. He's definitely cemented a role in the team. Next, James Sands. He had a couple of really good performances as the middle center back and the 3 at the back, but I don't think he's ready as like a 4 at the back type player. So I wouldn't put him over the team in a team over like a John Brooks, Chris Richards, Mark McKenzie, Miles Robinson. But if we want to go to that 3 at the back situation that's becoming more and more popular, he's a very good player for that. I like him in that role. He's shown like very good technical ability, bring it forward. A couple of bad performances towards the end of the game, giving away that penalty especially, but he showed a lot of talent. I feel like if we want to go with that 3 at the back, James Sands is somebody we got to consider for the team. Gyasi Zardes, he showed that he can score against bad CONCACAF teams. That's it, but we kind of need that. If we play Gyasi Zardes against Panama, Honduras, and who else made it? I don't think they did, but Haiti, he's scoring at least 2 goals in those games. He's a low ceiling, high floor player. We know what we're going to get out of him. We knew he wasn't going to win us this game. We knew that Zardes, he's only so good, but he's not going to just have a terrible performance. Everybody's like, oh, look at all those mistakes he has. You know, he's going to trip over his own feet and score a goal. It's going in, though. Zardes can do that. And just keep that in mind. We need players in World Cup qualifying who can definitely score us a goal. I feel like Zardes can do that. And if anybody has him over Daryl Dike, just keep in mind that he was completely invisible today. He didn't do much at all. So he's not, again, low ceiling player, but he showed what his talent is, and that's a good thing. Next, a couple of backup guys. Sam Vines, I feel like he showed he's good enough to back up Anthony Robinson, which doesn't mean too much, but if you compare him to having Serginho Dest out of position, I still would probably take Dest, but he did show good ability. He's our number 2 true left back at the moment, I think. Yeah, we've got a couple of guys coming up who can win that spot, but he did show that, I think. Shaq Moore, he showed that he's definitely in the conversation for the national team. I don't think he's above Dest for sure, but he's definitely put himself in the conversation with guys like Brian Reynolds, DeAndre Yedlin, Reggie Cannon, and I probably don't have him in our top 3 left backs. Wouldn't bring him to World Cup qualifying yet, but he still did very well. And this is kind of a breakout performance by him. Walker Zimmerman, even though he got hurt early, he showed that he's a pretty competent player. Good on the ball, solid enough defensively. Again, probably not one of our top players, but he showed that he's competent. Then Nicolas Gioacchini. I mean, a couple of good moments. Again, not a top 4 winger, but he showed his quality. And if and when injuries happen, he could get a chance. And he showed pretty good ability. Playing out wide, we know that he can do that. We know he's a decent striker. I'd like to see it. Next guy, so I do rate, but I was pretty disappointed with Reggie Cannon especially. I know that he was hurt this tournament, but he really didn't have a good performance. He's still a very talented player, and like playing in Portugal, he's probably going to get a move to Venezia. That's my guess right now, because they just keep bringing in American players. But he's still a very talented player, but not the best tournament by him, and honestly, Eryk Williamson, I have not been impressed by him. He's been pretty poor defensively this tournament. There's a game especially where he lost like every 50-50 he went into. He wasn't doing too much defensively today, and he's been pretty inconsistent on the ball. I know that he is a talented player from his time in Portland, but I wouldn't put him in over Busio or Acosta. Definitely not McKinney or Adams or Musa or De La Torre probably, so yeah, I'm pretty disappointed with Williamson this tournament. Next are guys who I really don't think you could say they're awful, but I personally don't rate them. Cristian Roldan, he had a good assist and probably should have played more over Arriola at that right wing spot, even if it's not natural to him, but he's had so many errant passes, not bringing anything defensively, and I really just don't think he's a good enough player for the national team, so a couple good moments. This should be his send-off. I really don't think he's good enough for the team. And I'm finally really going to go into criticizing Sebastian Lletget because, man, he is. I'm starting to realize why I don't like him, and why most people don't like him, and why people do like him. It's because he can't keep possession. Like, whenever he's in the game, we're not able to keep possession of the ball. And when you watch him, he just has a couple of passes where he just gives it away too easily. He'll have moments where he can be dangerous and he'll go backwards. He'll just make the wrong decision too many times. But at the same time, when the game gets end to end, he's very good in the final third. He's somebody you can trust to pick out a pass or score a goal. And it's kind of like he's a natural number 10. It's kind of forced into a deeper position. He's not good enough in possession. He's pretty decent in the final third, but not as good as Wes McKennie, not as good as Yunus Musa. I liked what I saw from Louis de la Tour more than I liked from Sebastian Lletget, so I really don't think... It's kind of weird for Gregg Barhalter's favorite. I don't think he fits the system. And Lletget, he just... I don't feel like he's good enough for the team. I was trying to defend him for a while, because I feel like he's a bit of an easy target when he's the only MLS player in a team full of European players, but he's not good enough, and he's not good defensively either. I like Busio more than him defensively, and several more box-to-box midfielders. Next are guys who just weren't ready. Donovan Pines, Henry Kessler, George Bello. I mean, you can't judge too much on that. I feel like George Bello got kind of inserted into the team. Like, maybe he should be disappointed, but he's just not ready yet, and that's fair. Those are guys who weren't ready. Kessler, Johnson, and Guzan, they didn't play enough to really rate. Kessler, I guess he sealed off the game, so you can give him that, but Johnson, probably, I rate Bill Hamid more than him. I feel like he should have been in this team. And Guzan, if he's a leader, he's a leader. I don't think he is, though, so probably shouldn't be in this team. Next, just getting the bad players out of the way. Jackson Yueill, I don't think he does anything really good at that sixth position at an international level. He's weak defensively, not dangerous offensively. I have to say, when he was in the Olympics, I kind of liked him as an 8, but in that 6 role, he's just not good enough. Jonathan Lewis, I've said this before, but Jonathan Lewis, what he is, those, wingers who are very athletic, but not that good, technically, don't really have the end product. Got, a guy like Daniel James, but you play him a lot because he's athletic. Jonathan Lewis is like that, but he's not athletic. That's that. And Paul Arriola, he sucked today. He might be injured, I don't know, but he's always injured, so. And just with our quality of wingers, Pulisic, Reyna, Aronson plays out there for the national team. Weah, if you want to put a Luca de la Torre out there, you've got Tyler Boyd, you want to move a striker out there, just so many guys. Matthew Hoppe proved he can do well there. Yeah, Paul Arriola shouldn't be in this team. I know it's being kind of hard on MLS players, so I'm not a hater of American soccer. Look up the hour-long video of the top 100 college freshmen of this year. I like MLS soccer, but it's just not good enough on an international level. And you can only be taken so seriously as an MLS player. But yeah, great tournament win, but I feel like this is down more to the heart of the team than MLS players' quality. For the actual game, I feel like there was no creativity offensively. A couple of set-piece chances and tried to make it end-to-end. Mexico actually did a pretty good job stopping us, but ended up getting the win. I mean, the press was working pretty well, even though I don't feel like we committed to it as much as we could have. Defense played pretty well. Bello was doing well defensively. Cannon made a couple of decent stops. Shaq Moore is doing well. Vine's doing well. Sands, I feel like he's out of place in 4 at the back. And Miles Robinson was insane. Matt Turner was making good saves. So great performance. The attack wasn't good enough. The midfield was too defensive. But, if that was the choice, we wanted to play for set pieces, wanted to play for penalties, it worked, I guess. I'm not too sure if I'm still a fan of Gregg Barhalter. I still think he's not good enough to bring us to the next level, but I think we're definitely going to qualify for the World Cup under him. I hope. But, we still won the game. Winning games when you're not playing at the best, that's a sign of champions. That's what they always say. And I don't think we were at our best, and we still won the championship. We proved we can beat Mexico. We had a great game against Qatar. It wasn't a great game, but we got results against Mexico, Qatar, Jamaica, Canada. That's the cream of the crop in the MLS and the Asian champions. I feel like this team's good enough to have a run in them. Things need to go right. Guys need to stay healthy, but the culture there is good enough. We're showing the talent, but yeah, there's all the more reason to become optimistic about this team. Yeah, that's my 7 to leave on. We start to be optimistic again with this team. Self-talked up. See ya.